This is the Horizon Editors Roundtable for the week of November 12, 2007. Tonight we're going to be talking about how we feel about how the press seems to focus in on worrying about what we should be afraid of this week. You might see Stephen Colbert talk about this quite a bit, and, you know, we all know how he is. But we're taking a more serious approach to this tonight, or we're going to try to anyway. So I'm sure you guys have seen headlines either in the newspapers or, you know, watching local or national news, seeing something that we should be afraid of but really shouldn't be afraid of. Anyone got any suggestions?
Shark attacks a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's a big one almost every year, though.
Well, on the news, it's always implied. You know, and I understand that things like murder, it's important to know that there was a murder, I guess, that's news, but it's also, hey, watch out, there's a murderer near you. Mm-hmm. That seems like the only thing that the news really ever informs you of.
Or like the sex offenders thing, and stuff like that.
It always seems like, and that's why I like our newspaper. Of course, we never talk about death on campus because that usually doesn't happen very often. But I think it's nice to see a newspaper, like when I'm on a TV show or something, or in a newspaper that just reports nothing but death all the time. It's nice to see a feature story in there. The news starts to not interest me after a while. Local newscasts are just a great example of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, one is like how much the media is focused on pedophilia, like to the point where people are afraid to leave their kids home with grandpa or something. Right. I mean, it's so bad. It's like the hot topic.
Well, I mean, that's
of the year.
That's something I've even noticed on my street when I leave home in the mornings to go to school, because I drive my own car, but a lot of high school kids don't yet. So you even see like high school parents and middle school parents who will wait at the bus stop in their cars with their children, lock the door, block my driveway so I can't get out until the bus leaves. And I think that's an effect from that. I mean, you see a lot of parents who are entirely too concerned about whether or not there's going to be a pedophile coming on the corner of the street and saying, "Hey, little kid, I got some candy and some other stuff. Why don't you join me?"
Well, one thing I saw about what I was talking about, is that there was this guy. I read this article online about this guy who was at the mall, and he saw this little boy that was lost, and the kid's probably about 3 or 4 years old, and I think he just got temporarily separated from his mom and was crying, and he was afraid to help the kid. He was afraid to either pick up the kid or walk with the kid somewhere because he was afraid that he was going to be called out as a pedophile. So he had to watch this little kid sit there and cry for his mom, and ask somebody else, ask like a woman if she could help, rather than him actually being able to do something himself. I mean, it's gotten that far.
In New York, they have, like in the hills of New York, they have, at Walmart, they have a sign posted to tell parents to make sure they recognize what shoes their kids have on. And because people will steal kids in Walmart and take them to the dressing room and change their clothes and dye their hair and then leave with them, but they won't change their shoes. So now, like when my sister goes to Walmart, her kids have to sit in the cart or they have to be held. She won't walk with them. Like, they warn people when they go into Walmart not to let their kids roam around.
So is she afraid? I was going to say, is she afraid because Walmart has done that, or because
well, it's like all over the news.
Thing?
Like, people are afraid to take their kids. Well, I mean, it's Walmart. If you've seen this Walmart, it's disgusting. But it's all over the news in Horseheads, New York.
And then I've seen it at Walmart.
And now with the not letting your kids play with any toys because they're all covered in lead paint and whatnot. Now people are going to.
I mean, how many times have I mean, look at us, if we're any kind of example at all, that But I mean, how many action figures did we chew on when we were kids?
I swallowed a Ninja Turtle head when I was 4.
And you're all right.
And I remembered doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't have GHB. We didn't have GHB. We didn't have
it tastes
date rape drug in our.
That's all.
Yeah. I remember my Boba Fett smelled really bad, like diarrhea or something. It was all. I remember I opened the plastic and was like, oh! It was a Boba Fett. It was only Boba Fett.
Remember when books used to smell disgusting like that too? You ever get a new book and it just smells awful?
Yeah, from the
bookstore. Like that.
Yeah.
Of course, have you ever driven by a paper factory?
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah. Flushing noise.
Anyway, aside from that, another headline that we actually came across today on CNN.com was that iPods and iPhones have toxic chemicals in them that people need to be concerned about.
So they shouldn't eat them, right?
Right, and then there was also something else along
insert
with
them
it.
rectally.
If you Google search it, it shows something like, a new link found between iPods and autism. And I really don't think we've given it enough time to find that link.
iPods and autism?
Yeah, iPods
Well,
and autism.
Doesn't our Shyness Research Institute coordinator or leader, Bernie, doesn't he have a theory on the iPods that it's creating shyness, which can be associated with autism very easily?
Maybe so,
Just
but
being almost locked away. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe he passed up the fact that he ate a Ninja Turtle head.
Of course, Ian.
I didn't eat it, I swallowed it.
Which
Same
turtle
thing,
was
it went to your
Which
stomach.
one was it? Was it Leonardo?
Oh, I don't remember what turtle it was. It wasn't.
Shame.
It wasn't one of the full size ones. That would have gotten stuck in my esophagus. It was a. It's like one of the.
I was
it's like
gonna
one of the
say
mini-
the shell hurt
It's like
on
one
the
of the
way
mini
out.
ones.
Oh, I was going to say
Like the little 1.5-inch tall or 2-inch tall ones.
Oh, because I was thinking that's.
Oh my God! No, a full size because their heads all like
Yeah.
this. You swallow that?
They say Donatello tastes better.
Mmm.
That's what they
With a
say.
little
So-
Alfredo
Reminds me
sauce.
of purple.
Yeah.
So anyway, I
Which
mean,
reminds me of Crown.
where do you draw the line if you're a member of the media as far as what's informing people of something they need to know, and then what's blowing up something to a point where it's just beyond the point of something we actually need to be concerned about?
Well, competition, man. You can't not do what everyone else is doing because you're going to lose. I mean, people are so conditioned to see as much, BS about a BS story as they possibly can. So if a station doesn't cover it, then they look like they're not getting the stories out. What it is the public keeps wanting it. People keep watching it. Why are the ratings there?
I can't wait
You
till
know?
after I'm glued to it and I don't change the channel, and then I can't wait to leave and go tell everybody what I just saw.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
serious? Are you being serious?
I'm being dead serious.
Like, who gives a
Like the
shit about
kid
Natalie
who
Holloway? I mean,
when
how come she gets so much publicity?
who?
Natalie Holloway. Do you remember that? Like, I can't even believe I remember her name, but she was.
Oh, that's the
Yeah. Why was that?
the Aruba.
Why was that news?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not
when
news.
I'm
That's,
partying,
Oh.
stuff like that happens all the time.
That cycle. I mean, are we at a point of no return, or is this something we can do something?
We've been at a point of no return since 80% of our population are idiots. And I'm sorry, high population, you're stupid.
Including
So,
me.
there's just, I'm not saying you, but
No,
there's
not
just
really.
an inherent problem with most of the population of America in that they don't care.
Well, we're going to end that on tonight's note because we're almost out of time here. Thanks for tuning in if you guys tuned in at all, and hopefully you'll see us next week. Have a nice night.